Hello guys, welcome to IT Security Labs, and I'm just doing a quick live stream here, testing a new live streaming solution. And I thought the most interesting topic to talk about today was how do you get started on HackTheBox? So I see that we do have a few people who joined, so thank you very much for joining, and I'm very excited to be live right now and just chatting with you. So if you have any questions, make sure to ask me in the comments or in the section below. I'm trying to incorporate this live streaming idea so I can actually begin to live stream some of my exploitation. So I'm thinking if it works out very well, every Saturday we can pick a machine that's retired and work on it so you can see how I think and how I process things. So if you are very interested in that stuff, let me know or give me a thumbs up or a like or whatever you can. Otherwise, today I'm just going to talk about how I got started with HackTheBox, because a lot of people have different paths. So as you can see on my screen here, if I can figure out things, over the past few days, I've been working on a lot of machines. My latest one was remote, very difficult machine to work on, but I was able to work on it, and after about 6 hours or so, I got user. My skills are mostly on the Windows side, surprisingly. I used to think that Linux machines were easier, but now I do like Windows machines even more, because mostly of the PowerShell and the Windows command line stuff that I do. So, thanks for the thumbs up. I can see that. So that's helpful to know that people are actually out here watching this stuff. And I'm good with Windows because once it comes to Windows privilege escalation, I can just get in there and try to find out things that are unusual. I know what's unusual because I used to be a Windows system administrator, and because of that I spend a lot of time on PowerShell. I did a lot of PowerShell scripting, so that's a huge advantage if you want to really be successful on Windows machine, is PowerShell or at least the Windows command line. Then there's Linux. For me, on the Linux side, that's secondary to me. At the same time, there's so many machines, especially on HackTheBox or VulnHub, that you can work on that will allow you to practice. So there's so many Linux machines compared to Windows. That's why it's easier for most people to work on Linux, because they would have so many options to practice. Windows, on the other end, there's some licensing issues, so VulnHub and a lot of platforms cannot do what HackTheBox does. That's why this platform is great. You see what I'm saying? Oh yeah, thanks, Seba. I see Seba just said that he wants to improve on his Windows machine skills, which is, I mean, if you do about 5 of the easy machines on HackTheBox, I think you'll find that there's a trend. You're going to identify that your biggest weakness in Windows is not the actual exploitation or the exploits, it is the Windows command line. If you don't know how to run commands in a Windows machine, that's going to be the weakest downfall that you actually would face. So yeah, I think that Windows, most people overlook that, but when you become a pen tester, you realize that you end up spending more time working on Windows, because that's what most of the world is used to and uses. So yeah, working on Windows is definitely something that is very important. And I'm very excited because the OSCP just included this new Windows Active Directory labs. I'll be taking those labs later sometime, maybe in October or November of this year. I'm taking a break from any certifications right now because I want to focus on acquiring certain skills. For example, these offensive skills. So yeah. Oh, and thank you for the thumbs up. it shows that, people are here. Some of these things, you never know if you're just talking to a camera by yourself or not. And some of these live streams, I'm not going to be uploading them to YouTube or anything like that, because they are very raw of me just talking to you guys. Anyway, the main goal was to talk about how to get started on HackTheBox. And everyone is different. You can start from just going there and owning machines. That will be you. On my part, it was difficult. I was working at help desk when I first heard about this platform. Then I decided that I was going to learn how to hack. So I learned some Python scripting. I learned a lot of PowerShell scripting, which I think if you can script anything, things will be very, very easy for you. If you can script, if you can write any scripts, things will be awesome. Oh yeah, thank you, Seba, for saying that. Yes, that's true. Windows is the most prevalent operating system out there. So I was saying that if you're going to be going out there and learning from scratch, you're going to realize that you're going to have knowledge gaps. And the most important thing is to fill those knowledge gaps and know where you are. Be very honest with yourself. Take inventory of what you know and what you don't know. For me, it was scripting. I did not know how to automate things. And that was a big challenge. Then when it came to learning the languages, I found out that Python was the one thing that I can learn quickly. So if you cannot script, you're most likely going to have the hardest time, because there's so many things that need to be automated. For example, if you're looking for a password in a huge SQL database and you don't know how to just write a SQL query and also how to automate that query so that you can just go through the whole thing and say grep something, you're going to have the hardest time, because you're going to spend so much time doing manual work that you can easily script. So for me, it was scripting. I needed to understand, how do I script things? I learned Python. I'm not great at Python at all, but what I can do is, if I'm presented with a lot of data, I can write a script. I can script something and I can grab the data. For example, if you give me a list of users with first name and last name, but I want to create a username of first initial, last name, you should be able to quickly say, here's a list of users. I want to create first initial, which is the first letter of the first name and last name. Write a quick script in 2 seconds instead of going through every user and typing it out. That is very, very important. I hate manual labor. So yeah, that is very interesting. Oh yeah, Eddie, I did start with a CCNA. I don't know if you have seen some of my videos, but yes, CCNA is definitely, for me, the best way to get started. I started with a CCNA. This is how I started in IT in general. I was in college, I needed a job. I got a job at help desk. And then when I graduated, I was a help desk technician and I wanted to be better. So my mentor at the time told me to get a CCNA. So I got a CCNA in routing and switching. So yes, CCNA is definitely a great thing to do. Right now, my current job, I use my CCNA, my Cisco knowledge, because I'm a network security engineer. But I did end up getting 2 more CCNAs, which is CCNA Security and CCNA Cyber Operations, and also a CCNP. So if you understand the networks, if you understand packet captures, and if you can read PCAPs, work with Wireshark, you are definitely going to be in a good place. That's what I do all day. Is I deploy network sensors, I find out what's going on the network, and create rules on what to capture. And if you are not capturing right, I find out which PCAPs we have and what I need to do to make sure that they work. So networking is my background. So yes, if you want to understand networking, definitely the CCNA is the way to go. They actually have a good CCNA right now. So that's a wonderful path to take. So going back to how I got started on hacking and learning, the one thing that I learned is that if you are honest to yourself and you know where your weaknesses are, you can tackle those quickly. I was saying that my weakness was in scripting. I did not like programming. I was very weak at it and my brain doesn't function that way. But I found out that it's very helpful if I can automate things like especially parsing data. I'm working on the blue team right now and I deal with a lot of data. So if I can parse data, if I can find out what's going on with the data and do it quickly through a script, I would do it because I'm very, 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 very interested in automating things and that are boring. So I did Python. And after Python, I also did PowerShell. And those two things really helped me in getting started in HackTheBox. The last machines that I've done, most of them required you to look through a lot of data. And being able to look through data and parse it quickly is important. Being able to automate things. There was another script I found on one machine that I think it was a port knocking machine on a Vaun hub. You needed to knock a port and open it, then it will close 10 seconds later. Being able to write a script that says, open this port every 5 seconds was very helpful. So scripting, as hard as it is very, very important. Then there is networking, which most people would understand. So that's how I got started on HackTheBox and Vaun hub, and then also created this channel. One of the things that I found very interesting for me was being able to make myself vulnerable and talk to people in the world like yourself, make videos. If I made a mistake in any of my videos, people, especially in the InfoSec world, are not afraid to tell you that this is crap, this is bullshitting, you need to do it right. And I want that. I want that to be better. I want that encouragement. I want that visibility. I've had so many people help me because I just make a video of myself, probably making a fool of myself, and then they reach out to me and say, hey, why didn't you do it this way? That way, again, even more knowledge. So I don't know everything, but at the same time, by just putting myself out there, I've learned a ton. Unfortunately, I haven't tried Parrot OS or any other distributions in the pentest world. I've only used Kali right now. So I cannot tell you that you can try Parrot OS. I've seen people use them. I'm trying right now to be at a point where I'm very comfortable with a lot of tools, a lot of methodologies, and my scripting skills and my programming skills. And once I feel like I know and I'm at IPSEC's level, at least close to that, where I can just do things on autopilot, then I'll start exploring other distros. But yeah, that's a good question. I think that whatever distro you start with, they're probably going to be all the same. I've seen people use Parrot OS in their videos and they seem to know their way around. And the last thing that I want right now is to be worrying about where things are because of a different operating system. But yeah, that's a good one. The other part that I wanted to cover was the HackTheBox platform itself. It's a wonderful, wonderful platform, I have to tell you. You can get frustrated very quickly if you are working on a machine and you cannot find the answers. I will tell you this right now. You're going to sit there for 3 hours trying to get a normal user and you get frustrated. If you're like me, I'm very stubborn. I say, I'm not going to look up the answers. I'm not going to go to the forums because I want to find out by myself. The process of getting frustrated is very, very beneficial because when you get it, at least for me, you never forget it. It's awesome. So give it your all. If you cannot get that initial user, try everything. The idea of trying the basics, like for Windows, for example, just trying and understanding that Windows administrators are lazy. They make usernames as first initial, last. Yeah, so they do first initial, last name. So if you were presented with a website and there's 10 people, make a word list or make a users list of first initial, last. Then if you find some password somewhere, maybe spray that password against the users. It's those things, I think, that hacker mentality of say, you know what, there must be a loophole somewhere and I have to find it. And being able to try to find that loophole is the most rewarding thing, because if you do finally crack it by yourself, it's the most high I've ever had, where I'm presented with something I know nothing about, and by the end of the night, I'm root. It's the most euphoric feeling, and it's rewarding. So I highly suggest that don't seek for help unless if you really are stuck. If you've spent 2 hours and you're like, you know what, I'm wasting time, read for a hint. Don't expect somebody to send you a command, but at least ask for a hint or something, Seba said he wants to, somebody said, it was Seba. You want to start hacking, but you don't know where to start. That depends on your experience. If you have spent, say, a couple of years working at help desk and you can work through, say, Active Directory, you know how the structure works, like the users, the groups, the organizational unit, and you've worked with Linux, the file permissions, the commands. I think that studying in cybersecurity is going to be easier for you. If you don't know anything about IT and you haven't worked in IT and you're coming from, say, accounting or a different department, I think that there is no substitute for putting time and understanding the basics. That's where, say, knowing what Linux commands are, knowing the difference between echo and ls and dir. If you don't know those things, you won't be able to hack. You cannot hack what you don't know. That's the whole thing. Is the idea of hacking is try and find the weak points of a system, the misconfigurations, the things that people who are supposed to secure those things overlooked that you can exploit. So you are hacking something that you at least have an understanding of. So that's going to be helpful. So start from the basics. Start with the CCNA if you're very new to the industry. I highly suggest that a CCNA is going to open your eyes to networking. I like networking. If you can sniff packets of a network, understand all the conversations that are happening, I believe that you will be in a good place. Then you can add on some Linux understanding, Windows command line, and most importantly, especially if you want to be a pen tester, some form of scripting. And if you can be great at it, that's awesome. If you can program and write applications and programs that do stuff for you and you don't have to do it manually, you'll be even better. I'm trying to do that right now. I'm working on my Python scripts. I'm going to be posting a GitHub page with all my projects. Right now, I'm just a little bit concerned about other people telling me that I don't have the right syntaxes. So I'm working on some projects where my automated scripts are there, and automating things is awesome. Defcon, I'd suggest that if you are brand new, go and check out Cybrary. Cybrary, at least a couple years ago when I started, they had free courses. I took, what is her name? Weedman is her last name. If anyone remembers her name, what is her name? Her last name is Weedman. She has a course on Cybrary on penetration testing. It was a little outdated, but that's what got me started. She introduced everything as if you were 5 years old. She would tell you, okay, here's what Nmap does. here are the different options of running Nmap. You can run scripts, you can run just bare Nmap, you can run, she had everything broken down, and that was very, very helpful. So let me find out what is her name. Now I need to Google it. Because I don't like not knowing. There she is. Make sure you check out her course on Cybery. Georgia Whitman. She's working on an updated version of this course. So I highly suggest that you check your other course, even though people say that it's outdated. I think it's still good. So if you are into cybersecurity and all that stuff, please go on Cybery and check your course. Oh yeah, thank you very much, Eddie. That is it's outdated. I mean, you're going to be learning old stuff there. Believe me, because I found out after taking a course and then doing a bunch of other things and being part of other groups, a course was a little outdated, but nonetheless, it's very, very helpful. I think that it's a good start for most people. Yeah, thanks, Seba. All right. So as far as I was talking about your programming skills, your understanding, and how I started. And right now, I just wanted to tell you how I've been working on this platform, specifically on HackTheBox. Oh yeah, thank you very much, Eddie. Yeah, she's really good, and I know right now she's working on a book, which I think is awesome. And if you want any motivation, before I tell you how I've been working on this, there is a wonderful book that I've been reading. It's like a tribe of hackers. It's a tribe of hackers, and in this book they interview red team members. It's a wonderful book. I highly suggest it. Every single day, what I'll do is before I start work, whether I'm at work or I'm working from home, I would read just one chapter, which is one person telling us how they got into InfoSec. It's very, very, very interesting when you can get that motivation every single day, learning from other people who have been in the industry. So I read a chapter of how somebody got into InfoSec and what they're up to now, and I get inspired. Then that's what I do in the morning. Then in the afternoon, when I walk my dog for our 30-minute walk, I listen to Darknet Diaries, which is a podcast where they talk about the different breaches that have happened over the years and what they mean. So that's just a way of me staying in this mentality. But at the same time, I learned a lot. Some of the exploits that I've used on HackTheBox or other platforms are actually talked about on Darknet Diaries. And it's one of those things that just takes you a step further into your career in, say, red teaming or something like that. So just something that I wanted to drop out there. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I'm glad that you found a value in this DEFCON. So as far as HackTheBox is concerned, the active machines, I'm telling you, they are very, 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 very interesting. You see this machine called Remote? It's labeled as easy. I don't know what they were thinking. I had the hardest time finding root on this machine. It took me about 3 hours. I don't know if I should be embarrassed or if I should be proud, but it took me 3 hours to find just the user. Then to find root was easier. It took me longer to find root, but I knew what I was doing. It was just a matter of making sure that I was crafting my exploits the right way. At least I knew how to find root. To find user, on the other hand, no clue. 3 hours in, I had a bunch of ports. I knew what I was looking at. No idea how to get to user. But when I did find out, the golden ticket is I will never forget how I found user on this machine. And if I ever find myself with another Windows machine, this is one of the first things I would try. This one little command that I just ran, I searched for a certain thing, and I found user. It was very simple. I could have gotten user in 20 minutes. It took me 3 hours. But because I took that time, I know that that will work. So that's what this HackTheBox platform does for me, is it challenges me to think outside the box. If I find myself tired, I need to take a break. But at the same time, Google is my best friend right now. If I'm presented with a bunch of ports and I have a machine and I have no clue what I'm looking at, I'll go from the top port, eliminating every single one of them, all the way to the bottom port. If I'm presented with directories in a machine, I'll go from the top directory. This is where knowing the basic structure helps. I'll go from the top directory to the lowest directory, looking for something that is out of place. If that directory is unusual, then of course we're going to look into it. If you have a directory that's called backup.backup, then you're going to be like, well, what is that? Then you go and check it out very quickly, and you are able to find solutions in there. Oh yeah, I'm glad you got your CISSP. The CISSP is very good. It's really good knowledge that will help you accelerate your career. In fact, on a side note, it did help me get my current job as a security engineer. So highly suggest that if you have the funds and the time, if you want to be very successful in cybersecurity, just get the CISSP out of the way. It's a wonderful certification. It will challenge you, and you'll be very successful. So going back to our HackTheBox, after getting a bunch of machines, I found out that you can actually rank. So when I started on HackTheBox, I was just hacking machines. I wasn't submitting any flags or anything. I was just hacking. I had no clue that if you submitted a flag, you get credit and it adds to the number of machines. So you go to my channel and see that I have 24 videos of HackTheBox machines that I hacked. Yet, if you go to my HackTheBox platform, I only have like 18 machines that I submitted. It's because I wasn't submitting ticket flags. Then I just started submitting a bunch of flags, and I did have some flags that are old, but I found out that if you're just submitting flags, old flags, they are rotating flags now. So if I started submitting 10 flags, they'll flag my account for cheating or something. So right now I'm just redoing all the machines and seeing if the flags changed or not. And for the most part, it's very simple to do that. Yeah, it's for the most part, you can do it. Then there are these things called challenges. Someone was asking me in a different video how I knew how to examine an image. I was trying to get user on a machine. I got stuck. Then there was this one image on their website that they presented me, and it had a weird name. So I pulled out Stego and ran Stego against the machine, found a hash, cracked the hash, got a clue. And they were like, hey, how do you know how to crack a machine, the image? It's because of these challenges. So if you do a lot of challenges on HackTheBox, you're going to see that it will give you hints on some of the capture the flags. If you do other capture the flags challenges other than HackTheBox, you'll see that they all have the same structure. They all either have a web app with a vulnerability that you can quickly crack, or they have an image with a hidden message that you can crack, or they have something. And HackTheBox is great for that. If you complete most of these challenges, you're going to realize that if you are part of a conference and there's a capture the flag challenge, most likely they're going to pick one of the HackTheBox structures, say either a web app, Stego, or the other different challenges that you can find in there. So that's what I've been doing. My goal right now is to crack a couple machines that are giving me the hardest time. I don't know if I can even show you before they even come after me, but let me see if I can get there. Oh yeah, so we have rope. This machine, I'm just I've spent about 3 hours on that machine already. Can't get it to to go. That's one of my biggest challenges, and I'm at a point where I'm about to go and start reading the hints from people and posting it on some forums and asking for people for help. So if you know anything about rope, or if you have done rope, you have my respect. This machine is just getting me right now. So that's one of my biggest challenges. All right. So I think that's what I just had for everybody today. Just a quick rundown of what I'm up to, testing out live streaming. If you like this, just let me know so I can maybe try to do more of these. As you can see right now, I'm using this software, Ecamm Live, on a trial basis. I'm trying to see if this works or not. So if this works, I will spend the $200 that they want, and I wanted to try it before I can even spend money on it, just in case if it works. So thank you all for joining me, and thank you for being part of the community. This community has grown from 1,000 subscribers when I thought that's all we needed. Now we are almost at 10,000. We're at 4,400 or something. And by the end of this month, there's going to be 10,000 people. And we foresee that this community will be growing. I'm going to create a group right here on HackTheBox for us, where all of us people who are just starting out, who understand that we have a long way to go, we have our own group. We can all communicate, hopefully through these live streams. You can join me through Skype and other ways. We can talk about things. Maybe you can actually come and present on something. For example, we can ask one person who is very good at Windows privilege escalation to spend one day just telling us what needs to be done, because at the end of the day, I don't know anything. You don't know much, so we are all in this together, but we all have different skills. Or we can hire or bring in experts to teach us, because that's what this whole platform is all about. So, oh yeah, you said OBS. I did try Streamlabs OBS right before this, and it kept crashing on my iMac. I'm going to give it more try, because Streamlabs and OBS, the original version, is cheaper, and I don't have to spend $300 on a software. But if I can get it to work, I think that would be awesome. But at the same time, I have to focus more on my skills, so I don't want to spend more time dealing with OBS than actually making the content, or stressing out about how OBS works than actually making my hacking videos. But yeah, you're right. I think I should look at OBS one more time tomorrow. I did try it earlier today, and it kept crashing, and there was a lag in my videos. I don't know why that was happening, and I think I need to fix it as well. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to have a Discord channel for us. So we will have a Discord channel. We will have a group here. I'm hoping our group will also rank. And then I'm creating a Skype account for this channel. This Skype account is what I'm going to use to interview people who know what they're talking about. Because, hey, at the end of the day, I'm learning. You subscribe to me and I feel honored. But at the same time, I know that there are people who are better than me out there that I can reach out to. And I'm hoping after we reach 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to reach out to some of these industry experts and say, hey, can you spend 40 minutes on a live session with us and tell us more about cross-site scripting? Where would we start as a beginner, or something like that? Because we do have a wonderful InfoSec community that we can always reach out to. And I'm hoping we can utilize that on this channel. Because a lot of people who present channels, they claim to be experts, and I think I'm unique in a way that I tell you I'm not an expert. I'm learning, and I'm just a little bit maybe arrogant enough to put myself out there, knowing that I might make a fool of myself. But at the same time, we're all in this together. So yeah, we'll do a WhatsApp group. I have to find out if that will actually review my phone number or not. I really like WhatsApp. I use WhatsApp to communicate with my family back home, and it's a wonderful platform. But Discord for sure, and then a group here. And other than that, if this works out well, I'll be doing more live streams. It's just not me. I'm hoping to have people who know what they're talking about come and actually do live streams. Hopefully, in a year or so, we have people who do malware analysis come here, show us how to set up a lab and what malware analysis is, so we can all learn. So I think that's for now a good plan. And if you have any input, let me know. Send me a message on HackTheBox. You can see that I think my name is up here. So just send me a message. Let me know what you think. If you think my videos are trash, let me know. Otherwise, I think you can also show me some respect there. I got 2 people who showed me respect. I didn't know what that was. I had to look it up. And let me know if I need to show you some respect. And we can all collaborate. If you want to be on this channel, one of these days, you can join me. You can teach people what you know. And that's what this is all about. It's all about knowledge. It's not about egos or anything like that. It's about learning, you and I learning. So I'll be going to bed very soon. Otherwise, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining. I plan to do this on a regular basis, and hopefully you can join me again. Have a good night.